Barevces, привет, good morning. Меня русский очень плохо. I grew up in London, but I speak Armenian, Brit English, and many other languages. So we'll start with English today. First of all, thank you so much to our dear friend, Mr. Gagik Zakarian and team for organizing once again this fantastic industry conference in Yerevan. A rising, growing hub for innovation and technology transformation. So thank you for coming today, thank you for organizing, and thank you for being so inclusive and inviting us to join. So first of all, just a couple of minutes about FinTech Armenia. What is FinTech Armenia? Why is it in place? What is it doing? And what could it mean for all of us in the room here today? So FinTech Armenia is now a growing international brand as such, and it has a presence in over 10 countries via our partners and members in different key financial centers and hubs. As you can see from the strapline at the bottom, it positions Armenia through our marketing and partnerships and membership around the world as a FinTech AI and banking hub, right? So we have key leaders from banking and central bank in the room here today. As you know, in Armenia, there is a thriving banking ecosystem and a thriving AI ecosystem. And what we're doing is we're adding a wrapper around the growing FinTech industry that we are working closely together with market participants to grow and strengthen and internationalize this part of industry. Okay, on to the next slide. All right, so this slide basically summarizes what is FinTech Armenia. So we started out a year ago as a small foundation to do a lot of research and discovery and qualitative and quantitative analysis and understanding of the local market needs and demands. And having had the green light from, I think, 99% of participants in Armenia, we registered the association in Q1 this year. Our goals, per the second bullet, are to bridge, connect, and internationalize the industry, starting with Armenia, taking the industry to the West, and bringing the West into Armenia. So who are the members? The members, we have 5 categories. We have corporates, so that includes banks, of course, and telcos. We have startups, FinTech startups, individuals, NGOs, and academia. We have partners all around the world in all the key financial and FinTech hubs. Middle East, Dubai, London, Singapore. We prioritize based on national needs and interest and demand. So that's, of course, Middle East and Asia, and the rest of the world will follow and is coming in. So we have 10 institutional working groups, actually following good meetings yesterday with a big bank and operate in Armenia. We're probably going to shorten the working groups for the next 2 years, focusing on open banking and payments, trade tech and markets, blockchain and tokenization, hopefully ventures in sandbox. We have a little bit of work to do on sandbox, but I'm praying that we're nearly there. I can't say more than that, but I think it might come soon, given the number of startups that are coming out of Armenia. And education. Education is very important. And of course, lastly, AI and cybersecurity. On to the next slide. So this slide basically summarizes the FinTech Armenia, FinTech in Armenia ecosystem. It's quite big, it's quite broad. So in terms of members and partners, you have all the usual segments here, you know, banks, education, telco, payments, DLT, insurance, and more. So this is the draft roadmap for the FinTech industry in Armenia. High level, as a body, as an entity, we covered what we did last year. We covered what we're doing this year. So we're going to start. We're onboarding members now in Q2. It's great to open the inbox every day and receive signed forms from people in the room and industry in Armenia. So thank you so much for joining. Actually, one change on this roadmap is the incubator, because to get the sandbox moving, of course, we need to deliver more startups and deliver, more innovation in the country, and to show the central bank that we can actually do this. So we actually released a call for incubation and startups and received 12 applications of brand new startups with who me and team have been working closely every day to finalize their pitch and strengthen their offering. And that's just brand new startups. There are many more existing startups in the fintech industry in Armenia. Other points to note on this slide, on the roadmap, a fund. But of course, the fund needs to, first we need to have the right amount of deal flow for the fund to invest. The fund will be in Armenia and global. So the fund will invest in fintech businesses inside Armenia and globally. And that will help with innovation and positioning of Armenia. Okay, on to the next slide. So these are our goals, right? So high level, if you look at the headline in green, to put Armenia on the global fintech, AI, and banking map. Okay, so historically, Armenia has been, for many reasons, more closed. And Armenia is opening up for business. And people like me who are joining from around the world who have, experience and networks in the fintech industry have understood that FinTech Armenia is a platform to globalize our industry inside Armenia and outside Armenia. So cross-bridging, cross-connecting. Okay, so as you can see the goals here, position Armenia as high-growth fintech AI banking hub, done. That's happening. 2, bridge, connect, internationalize, and strengthen Armenia. That's a major goal, and I think a lot of us want this. Armenians in business, in banking, in AI, in tech, and we're going to do that. Enable, connect, and transform innovative industry. That's definitely going to happen. Help members achieve their fintech ambitions, as the gentleman on my right mentioned here, is a very important role. The Banking Association and Union, it's a journey, right? And it could be a 5-year journey, but a lot is happening behind the scenes. And of course, every bank has different levels of fintech and AI integration, capability, and goals. And so that's part of what we're going to help. And the last bullet, I think, is very important. It's accelerating fintech, AI, and banking synergy. So banks and fintechs in Armenia have different levels of understanding and usage of AI. And AI is a very important, disruptive, and useful technology. So member benefits, I don't want to dwell. This is not a sales pitch. I think most of you have our documentation. And if not, let's chat later. But really, you access a premium audience of experts and partners and customers around the world in Armenia. You access niche human capital. So the banks are interested in engineers, developers, data architects, and things like that. And of course, the ability to learn from and buy innovative technology. And of course, any association does this, right? It's brand and product awareness. And it's, of course, we're working on small delegations in key financial centers and fintech hubs. So we announced recently a delegation coming to London. I know there's EBRD conference a few weeks later, and we're working with ambassadors in key centers. But there's a London FinTech Week end of April, Dubai FinTech Summit middle of May, etc., etc. So you're all welcome to join us. This is the association categorization and benefits. I'm not going to sell this today, but just to show you it's very comprehensive. It's Western level standard. This is about me, very boring. I've been in the industry for 17 years. I'm very passionate. And in the beginning, when you build something, you have to push, right? And now we're at the stage where, forms are being signed and members are joining. So it's not about me, I'll take a back seat. It's about the industry and the market. So my contact details, we can talk later if you'd like to join. Feel free to take a picture if you need to chat. I give you my business card. There is one more slide that is not coming up. There it is. All right, so we talked probably 10, 15 minutes about FinTech Armenia. We have about 5 minutes left. I just want to tell you a little bit how I used to at least present the FinTech industry at conferences in Davos or in London. So super high level. As you know, so globally last year, looking at some stats and numbers, the FinTech industry saw $96 billion of investment across 4,600 deals. The cut is roughly 2,300 deals with $64 billion invested in the Americas, $20 billion in EMEA across 1,500 deals, and Asia Pacific, just under 1,000 investments made across $14 billion. Just to quantify these numbers for you, you probably know the AI industry is a $1.5 trillion opportunity by 2032. And the fintech industry opportunity is a $1.2 trillion opportunity. So the actual opportunity is huge. And if you bring fintech and AI together and you use the capabilities across industries, banking, insurance, telcos, etc., e-commerce, the actual potential is massive to cross-connect and cross-bridge these two disruptive and important and useful technologies. So I'm not going to dwell. I think there's a long conference ahead. I just want to focus on the right-hand column. So these are the key fintech clusters that are identified in all the main research reports around the world. High level, and by the way, the stats I just mentioned don't include blockchain and crypto. So the blockchain and crypto market itself is currently, well, just crypto is a $3 trillion market. As you know, quite volatile and quite interesting for different reasons. But so very quickly, blockchain. So you probably saw, if you read about blockchain, the top two companies right now in the world are Binance and Bybit. Huge volatility in volumes and penetration. I think they have something between 60 to 100 million customers transacting daily on their platforms. This is huge and unheard of. You know, if you look at IG Group, Charles Schwab, TD Ameritrade, you know, if you look at their customer flows and daily transactions, you're talking 1, 2, 3 million customers a day. Crypto is 10, 20x bigger in terms of daily transactions per unique customer. So the potential and growth there is massive. And of course, if you look at blockchain, what is blockchain, right? So there's a lot of key trends. There's DeFi, there's DAOs, there's blockchain as a service, NFT, green chains, tokenization, crypto, stable coins, Web3. And of course, I don't know if you saw, Bybit, world number 2 yesterday, announced closing Web3 businesses, including NFT marketplace, and transitioning to on-chain Web 2, which is super interesting. It's like you're decentralized, but you're kind of centralizing, because you got to work with the system and you got to do it properly. So it's interesting to see that trend. And I would think that that's an opportunity for Armenia. And I'm looking at my friend from the central bank and saying, let's try and do something for Armenia one day, hopefully. The next cluster is digital banking. So, excuse me, you've probably all heard of Revolut and Monzo. Maybe you have Revolut and Monzo accounts. There are other ones in the UK, in the US, in Asia Pacific, and we would love to. Well, I met a few of these guys in London, CEO level, and they're interested in Armenia. But let's see who comes, who doesn't come, and in terms of having an office in Armenia. But of course, as you know, in Armenia we have. Thank you so much. We have, and I promise I'm nearly done. We have several big fintech companies that have offices here. Institutional level, it's like WorldQuant, XTX, Teza, and these are part of major financial fintech electronic groups. More for outsourcing than I would say. I don't think they have a license to trade. But as you know, Armenia used to be the science hub of the Soviet Union. And Armenia has the smartest brains, definitely in the Caucasus region, or one of the smartest brains per capita. If you look at, I think if you look at statistics and about like chess players per capita, Armenia was and might still be number 1 in the world. We have a very strategic brain and a very commercial brain. And we're all working together now to really transform Armenia. So just on banking, I'm not going to say more than the gentleman just mentioned, but of course open banking is huge for the world. It's changing and Armenia is looking at it very seriously. Of course, other trends are cloud, embedded finance, CBDC, AI personalization, mobile-first products. And these are all things that I think Mr. Zakarian and all the other banks, Unibank and others are looking at very seriously for their product roadmap. So digital banking is a $100 billion opportunity, and I think it's going to be a lot bigger. The third cluster is trade tech and markets. I happen to have grown up in this industry in London, very lucky. IG Group, CMC Markets, disruptive startups. As you know, London is the main hub in the world for trade tech and digitization of capital markets. So like CMC Markets, IG are the top 2 in Europe. They're born in London. And really there it's about voice broking, 100% electronification. My last job at CME Group, we put market data accessibility on the cloud. with Google and Amazon. That was a huge change because you're able to access and trade via cloud, STP, DMA, etc. So I'm not going to dwell. And then nearly finished. Thank you. FX and payments. Okay, so $3.4 trillion of FX gets transacted every day around the world. FX is the most liquid, interestingly off exchange, OTC market in the world. And, you know, that's all about cross-border, hopefully with blockchain, T2, T21 coming to T0, hopefully. There's embedded finance, there's no commission model, DLT and tokenization, looking at, you know, FX very seriously. The big boy in London and on the stock market is, of course, WorldPay, and there are other ones. And they're hiring and changing their product offering like no tomorrow. I'm not going to dwell on ESG, green tech, reg tech, and cyber. I'm not an expert there. I'm not passionate about it. But I'm not going to waste your time because there are other speakers who are going to cover these areas. I just want to finish off with the last one, which is InsurTech. I happen to be lucky to have worked for the world #1 platform in London. And what I would say there is the huge money. Of course, banking is #1, I would say, in terms of investment. So is blockchain and trade tech. But InsurTech is a massive industry. Insurance is a big industry. And in London, we call it a sleeping giant, like a sleeping dinosaur. It's slow. But it's moving. I think one of the main case studies there was Lemonade. They listed on the stock market and they did quite well for some time. They had their difficulties too, but it's a bit sort of the beginning for insurance. But, you know, there are key themes there and thematics like automated document processing using AI, hyper-personalization, the utilization of drones, DLT and low code to build fast and launch your products. NLP and AI bots sounds scary, but it's actually live and in use in the UK and the US. IoT and telematics, smart claims, and automated underwriting. Okay, so I'm done for this presentation. I just want to say thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much to the organizers. And those of you we haven't chatted about FinTech Armenia yet, come and talk to me. We have a few people in the room with us, and this is about Armenia and the industry. So thank you.